All right, welcome in. Monday Fun Day here on the NBA Tip-Off Show, powered by WagerTalk.com. Got a few games in the association here tonight. We're going to look through a few of them, see if we can't find a couple of angles to approach, along with a few best bets. We'll hear from the contrarian gods as usual, and we'll do it with two of the finest gentlemen you will ever meet on this show as we welcome in the one and only the prop god, Andy Lang, in the house, and Mr. Vino, Mr. Dot Matrix himself in the house. Rob Vino, ready to roll here, gentlemen. Let's just get through this show before Vino has to print anything else. Gentlemen, always good to see you here to start the week off on a Monday. Why don't we kick it off by listening and hearing what the contrarian gods have to say about this game tonight? And it is an interesting one because it appears that the entire world wants to go towards the Cleveland Cavaliers, but looks like the Kings are getting a little bit of love here in the marketplace. 3.5 now, opened up 5, 4.5, 5. So the contrarian gods seem to be impacting the market here a little bit. Andy, do you agree with it? And anybody you're looking at in this particular matchup?
All right, so the contrarian gods, they like the Kings? Is that right?
They like the Kings getting 3.5.
Okay, so I think I'm with them. This is a very odd schedule kind of point for the Cleveland Cavaliers here, and I will say the Sacramento Kings been good on the road. What is that? 5 out of 6 wins in the row. This is their last game of this road trip. So kind of like sometimes these teams wrapping up a road trip, they're off tomorrow, and then they at home they get to play the Detroit Pistons. So another day off for them if you think about it. And then this is just such an odd spot for Cleveland here. So on Thursday, they at Memphis, they beat Memphis, who's basically putting out a G League team at this point. Then Saturday they beat San Antonio, who is a G League team at this point. And then they get this random home game against Sacramento, who's a good team. And then they turn right around and go at Washington, Brooklyn, and Toronto, 3 more G League teams. I could see this being a little bit of a letdown spot for them because they're just kind of surrounded by these bad teams. They're on the road. This is just a weird one-off game for them. And I like Sacramento at the end of this road trip. For a prop in this one, De'Aaron Fox under 8.5 rebounds plus assists. He's gone under this in 12 out of 15 games. Sabonis is gobbling up most of those stats. And this is a Cleveland Cavaliers team really good on the perimeter, 9th in allowing rebounds to guards, 2nd in allowing assists to guards. So I like De'Aaron Fox under, but I am with the contrarian gods. I like the Kings in this one.
Yeah, not a great spot, but two teams that have been pretty good here over the last month here, Rob Vino. It looks like the market agrees with the contrarian gods taking on some Sacramento money from the open. Are you in agreement with that?
Well, I think they're on the Sacramento Kings side because, the NBA is going to make us guess again who's going to play. Is Jared Allen going to play? Is Darius Garland going to play? It makes that much of a difference if those guys don't go, right? Question marks next to them. Otherwise, if they're going, this line isn't 3.5, right? Cleveland's 13-1 straight up in their last 14 games. Of those 13 wins, 12 of them came by 4 or more points. So certainly it's not too big of a number for Cleveland to cover here. Andy mentioned Sacramento on this road trip has been really good. It's the 7th of a 7-game road trip. It's been a long time out on the road, but they are 5-1. I think 4-2 against the number. There's a huge defensive disparity between these two teams, right? Cleveland will play it. Sacramento won't. Mike Brown will beg them to play it, but they still won't. So it's just hard, Joe. But you got to wait till 30 minutes before tip-off to find out who's going. I'm going to guess that one of those two will play, and then this line will move in favor of the Cavaliers. So I would rather take it now before that announcement comes and buck the contrarian gods and lay the 3.5, take the Cleveland side. I don't think Allen and Garland will both sit here. Neither injury is tremendously serious, and it could be a case where, like Andy said, that Cleveland has in their next game have a day off and in a game against the Wizards, which his words, just another day off, right? So if you're trying to get somebody healthy, one of these guys you can rest today, the other guy you can rest the next game. I think they'll split it up. I'd rather see Jared Allen play
Hmm.
because what is it, like 17 double doubles in a row for him? And we know Donovan Mitchell doesn't mind when Darius Garland doesn't play. So I'm going to try Cleveland. I will buck this the contrarian gods and pray that lightning doesn't strike the house tonight.
Ooh, all right. Now, sooner rather than later, if you're looking for Cleveland, I will say it does appear that Allen was at the shoot around, but that, we won't know what that means until, of course, just before tip, I'm sure. So we do have a contrarian gods play. Only 6 games here on the board tonight, but we do have a featured matchup, which I think is fascinating too, as we're going to take a look at the Clippers on the way up I-95 north from Miami to Atlanta, taking on the suddenly rejuvenated Atlanta Hawks here in a matchup that I guess you could say this is the close to the end of a very long road trip for the Clippers, who have been doing a whole lot of traveling as of late. Now they got to go to Atlanta. Atlanta, for all their faults, does seem to have figured some things out lately. Will that translate into a win here tonight, Andy? And who would you focus on in this matchup in the prop market?
I love this Clippers team, and I can't believe I'm saying that. There's just a lot of individual pieces I don't like on their own, but if you've been betting on the Clippers, you've been doing really, really well. So why even mess with it? I will still take the Clippers here, even though it is on the road. They're on a back-to-back, but again, we talked about how this is the last game of the back to or of the road trip. So I kind of like that angle a little bit. And you've got teams like this Clippers team defense has been fantastic. And you look at the Atlanta Hawks, and there's just not been hardly any defense in their 4-game winning streak. I mean, these scores 126, 125, 138, 122, 129, 120. And then, of course, get the overtime game with the 141, 134. And then the Clippers are coming off of a game that looks, like it was out of the, Pacers Knicks series way back when, 103-95. I'm going to lean towards the Clippers style kind of taking over in this game. So I like the team total under for the Atlanta Hawks here, 119.5. The books have this total, and I think the general public may have this game as kind of a high pace game, and that's certainly what the Atlanta Hawks want to do. But the Clippers, they're bottom 10 in pace, but they're top 10 in defensive rating. They're one of the top teams since the Harden trade in offensive rating. So they tend to wind this. They tend to use the most out of the shot clock. They get the most out of their possessions, and I think that's going to be really hard to get over this. 17 out of the last 19 teams that the Clippers have played have gone under this total. So this is a monster sample size. Yeah, monster sample size. Crazy enough, one of the teams that went over was the Detroit Pistons. So you figure that one out. But it's just a trend where the Clippers kind of slow the game down, and they don't let too many points here. I think this total is way too high for the Hawks. I like the Clippers to win, and I like the Hawks to come in under this team total.
All right, there you go. Little team total action there, Vino. There is no denying this is a awful spot for the Clippers, who have been away what feels like forever. But it does appear like as soon as this game's over, they're hopping on a plane. Do they mail it in for this one, or are you thinking they'll get one more before they head back home?
Well, unlike Sacramento, I mean, this is the same deal where it's the 7th of a 7-game road trip, right? But unlike Sacramento, there was no day off for LA. Your big three here go between 33 and 42 minutes last night. I think it was 33, 35, and 42 with James Harden playing the most. The other two guys going 33 and 35. So to Andy's point about them wanting to slow the pace down, they'd really want to do it here. The crazy thing about the Clippers is, we can talk about their slow tempo all we want. 9 of their last 13, they've scored 125 or more, which is incredible efficiency. If you're not going to get up and down the floor and you're still going to score 125 plus most nights, Atlanta would like it that way. Atlanta would love nothing more than for this to be a 127, 125 game. Their last, I think it is, counting up here, 5-6 games. The game totals have all hit 246 or better. I should credit real quick here, Joe. We were on either Friday, I think it was Friday, where as only he can, my good friend Teddy Covers put up a desk-pounding case for the Atlanta Hawks, maybe turning things around. And here they come. 3 straight covers, 4 straight wins, doing it all with offense. But they do, now that they're healthy, they do seem a little bit more cohesive. So I think I would lean that way. It's been a successful, I think the Clippers, if I'm not mistaken, since James Harden got there, are 25-5 straight up, which is
crazy,
unbelievable to think of. But it's been a good addition for them. I just don't know that they can overcome the situation here against a team that's playing really well right now. The Lakers, maybe not that big of a win, but the Phoenix Golden State wins were big. And they played Phoenix with rest and still got past them 129-120. So I'm going to take a shot here with Atlanta. I think they're probably the right side just based on the situation.
All right. A little shot at Atlanta. And it looks like, as we're saying that, right, the Clippers look like they're getting a little bit of money here in the marketplace. I'm seeing 4s popping up all over, which makes me kind of like Atlanta even more. All right. So there we've got it. We got a featured matchup. We heard from the contrarian gods. We are also going to remind you to smash that like button if you haven't done so already, and hit the subscribe button if you're joining us live here for the first time. Nobody's got more daily and weekly content of all the big games of sports than we do here at WagerTalk TV. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button, become part of the family, as we will focus on a total here tonight. That's right. And that total in our overtime section is going to be Dallas taking on the Sixers. 244.5 is what we're seeing. That has ticked up a little bit from the open here. And as I'm looking, oh, yeah, still no Embiid. Yeah, not going to be for a little while here. So now the question is, does that mean the Sixers play at a faster pace? Does that mean that we're going to get more points in these games? They've been dealing with a lot of injuries, not just Embiid, but they have got to adjust to life without him. Does that mean you think, Andy, against this Dallas Mavericks team, we're going to get more points in this one? Is it an over spot for you, or do you think there's some value in the under, and that's the way you're looking at in the prop market as well?
This is a tough game to handicap. I lean the under. I cannot say it's a very strong play just because the total's so high. You need both teams to play really good on offense for all 4 quarters. You know, it when you get these totals, all it takes is one team to not have a good quarter, and the over is, you know, dead. I believe it was the Bucks and the the Bucks and the Jazz that came in under the total when the Bucks scored like 13 points in the fourth quarter, and that literally that's all it takes. One team has one bad quarter, and the over is just, you know, it's completely dead. So I'm not really sold that both these teams are going to have 4 quarters of really, really good play. The props are pretty tough. I guess the one I'm looking at, it's a little juicy. It's minus 155, but Tobias Harris under 1.5 made 3-pointers. The last 11 games without Joel Embiid, he's come under this in 8 of those, and he is not shooting 3-pointers very good at all. Last game against Utah, he was 13 of 21 from the field, but 0 for 5 from 3-pointers. He did go 2 of 4 against Golden State, but before that, 0 for 3, 0 for 5, 1 for 3, 1 for 3. He's only attempting 3.6 since the beginning of January, and he's only making 1.3. So he would have to do something that he's not been doing a lot of, which is make 2 3-pointers. So it's a game I don't feel like I have an unbelievable read on. So I probably won't get to the window on any of them. But if you do, if you are watching this game and need a little action, I do like the under.
All right, leaning towards the under. I mean, I'm seeing Vino, Kleber, Doncic, Kyrie is now probable. Hallelujah. Derek Jones all look to be a go for Dallas. No Derek Lively. Tobias Harris is still questionable. Marcus Morris is a go, but then, you know, Batum and Embiid and Melton all out, Covington. So the big question is, in your neck of the woods there with the Sixers, No Embiid, does that mean we're going to get more pace? And, I'm pretty sure Doncic and Kyrie probably won't have a problem running. Or do you not trust them to get to this pretty big number here tonight?
I never say I don't trust it when Dallas is involved, Joe, and
Yeah,
especially when Derek
yes.
Lively is involved. The one thing we can guarantee that will not happen for 4 quarters of this basketball game is there will be no rim protection on either side. Dallas is not going to defend it. Philly can't defend it. We've gone over this with Paul Reed as the starting center. There's just nobody to defend the rim. It's all Kyrie wants to do. Tyrese Maxey will be free to do as he wants. Patrick Beverley, it doesn't matter. Everybody can get to the rim in this game. So if we're just going to take a look at the 2 games they've played since Embiid went down against Golden State, Philly has gone over this particular team total twice in a row. I think tonight they're listed at 120. They put up 121 and 127. Those games hit 257 and 251. So small sample size, but in regards to your question, you would think, yes, more pace, more scoring, less defense, the whole works. And Dallas just doesn't believe in defense, right? Since October 13th or whenever the season opened, they haven't played any. Not going to begin now. And with Kyrie back in the lineup now, that backcourt could have an absolute field day here as far as points scored are concerned. So I could probably play it no other way than over. If you do have an off quarter, there's a pretty good chance you'll have a 75-point quarter somewhere along the line with these 2 teams. 38, 37, 41, 34. That quarter is probably coming here tonight. So I thought maybe this one's a little low. Dallas, for what it's worth, at 123.5, their last 3 games, or excuse me, the last 4 games where they've played teams that don't necessarily play defense, they've exceeded that in all 4. So it seems like it's going to be the same type of game Dallas has played all season long. And when Derek Lively's not involved, Joe, I just can't play Dallas under whatsoever. He's been a godsend for that team defensively, but he's been hurt an awful lot in his rookie season. And I think we're going to see points, so I'm going to go over.
All right, looking at the over in that one here tonight. So, again, only 6 games on the board here, and 6 games means 6 dogs. So that means some of them might be barking. Let's check out what we got here today.
That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. That's my dog. And anybody got to say anything, you let me know. That's my dog.
All right, we got dogs barking here tonight. And again, we've already covered 3 of these games, which really only leaves us a couple of more opportunities for you guys here to check it out. So let's start, Andy, with you as far as the limited menu here tonight goes. Is there one dog that just might be sticking out a little bit more than the rest of you here tonight?
Wow, rough night of dogs here.
Yeah.
Not a lot. Not a lot. Yeah, you want the Hornets? No, I don't. You want the Nets? No, I don't. I will say, shout out to the chat room. They love the Hawks. They think it's a terrible spot for the Clippers, and they're kind of winning me over here. So I do like the Hawks. I guess I'll bring up the Raptors as a team possibly. I'm not really sold on this Pelicans team. They beat Houston and San Antonio, but 1-point win to San Antonio, 11 to Houston. Before that, they lost big to OKC, big to Milwaukee, 6 points to Boston. So I don't know that they don't seem to be clicking that much. And I know you're playing with fire when you're taking these really bad teams to cover the spread, but they took Oklahoma City to double overtime. Houston killed them, but they did beat Chicago. I don't know. I think it's more of just I'm not really that sold on the New Orleans Pelicans, and I think it could be a pretty nice kind of a sneaky spot. Nobody will want to take the Raptors. Like nobody. Okay, Sunday coming off a double overtime game, so maybe it's baked in line, maybe it's not. But this Pelican team laying minus 10.5, no thank you.
Yeah, kind of tough there. I thought they were going to pull that game out last night against OKC. Had to go to 2 overtimes. Yikes! And now they back on the road taking on the Pelicans here tonight in an obnoxious number. But we did see of games left here. We talked about Sacramento already. Vino, you were leaning towards Cleveland in that one. The only other absolutely disgusting dog on the list is Charlotte here. And they are getting, 12.5 now. The Nets did flip from a favorite, for what it's worth, to a dog here now. So which one of these remaining ones might you be leaning towards?
Well, you're not talking me into the only one that's left, Joe, because Charlotte, you could, anybody else could have him. I don't even know if Charlotte can bark at this point in time, so we don't want them as a dog whatsoever. I'll go back to one that we talked about. I do think, that the Hawks +4, just because they're playing pretty well right now, they seem to have some continuity with the health back, everybody back in that 9-man rotation. And the situation for LA, again, 7th road game, and it is a back-to-back. That's what separates it from the Sacramento situation. I think, as you mentioned, Joe, you saw a little increase, a bump to 4. We see a major indicator bump to 4.5, but I see this every single night where, okay, somebody's going to play. Let's rush to that side and go ahead and bet it. Maybe, people thought George, Kawhi, or James Harden might sit. Maybe none of them are. It still doesn't mean they have to win this game by 5 points against a team that's playing pretty well. So I'm going to take Atlanta. I think they're probably the best dog on the board of what's available here. New Orleans, as Andy mentioned, isn't trustable, but I just can't get to Toronto off of that double overtime. What a heartbreak for them last night. OKC chased them down and got it there to overtime and then got the job done in double OT. So I'm going to use the Brooklyn Golden State game as my best bet. So let's use Atlanta as that's my dog.
Ooh, all right. So there you got it, guys. I'm still having a hard time grasping Dallas laying points on the road against anybody. But hey, I could be wrong here. That'll be extremely interesting tonight. That is for sure. All right. Before we get to the best bets here, guys, you might have noticed there on the bottom of the screen an opportunity for you guys to partner up with Andy or Rob or Skee or any one of your favorite WagerTalk handicappers for the rest of February. Less than $9 a day right now. All you got to do is head over to their pages at WagerTalk.com, and you can partner up. That's an all-access pass, every sport, every play, from now through the end of the month for just one low price of $1.99. It's a great opportunity to partner up here in the month of February, guys, and it works for anybody, whether it be Rob, Andy, or any one of your favorite handicappers at WagerTalk. These guys are locked, loaded with the Super Bowl coming up, obviously. Not to mention daily bets coming out across all the sports. Great opportunity for less than $9 a day to get it done and partner up. All right. We do have 6 games in the NBA. We are certainly going to come up with a couple of best bets for you here. So here's what we do. 60 seconds on the clock. All we ask is that these guys drop us a best bet in between there. So, Andy, kick us off. 60 seconds on the clock, my man. Where are you heading here tonight?
We're heading to the Lakers of Los Angeles, and we are going to look at a prop on LeBron James. Quick reminder, 5% Super Bowl pack is up. We've got 2 plays in there. One of them is a 5%. One of them is a 4%. You can get both of those, or you can take advantage of that Super Bowl to Super Bowl special. I like LeBron James over 1.5 made 3-pointers. And I spent a lot of time. I spent way too much time on this prop today. But here's the thing. He's hitting this 70% of the time at 1.5, and the line is only minus 138. He's hit this 8 games in a row, and he keeps landing exactly on 2. So the books are in a hard place here because they leave it at 1.5, and he keeps barely going over and getting 2. If they move this to 2.5, he's gone under 21 out of 30 games. So this is one of those where the books, no matter what number they put out on LeBron on the 3-pointers, you've got to play. If it's 1.5, take the over. It's 1.5. I'm taking the over tonight.
I love it, man. Get her done here. Love that spot. Never spend enough time on LeBron props. Let's be realistic. Mostly because usually he's already ruled out at this point. Let's talk, Rob Vino. Opportunity presenting itself here tonight with a limited card. I know you like Atlanta, but you can't give us Atlanta again, or you will be buzzed instantaneously. So go ahead and tell us, where are you going for a best bet here tonight?
Probably way too much Atlanta, right, Joe? You can't really dive in with both feet. Atlanta is liable to drown. But I'm going to go to Brooklyn, Golden State at Brooklyn. A simple current form here, Joe, and numbers. I'm going to play the Golden State team total, up and over the posted price of 119. For Golden State right now, they've just become that track meet style team again. Score points, score points, score points. And as a matter of fact, over the course of their last 6, the lowest total they've posted is 119. Otherwise, you're looking at 134, 144, 121, 133, 134. Just Brooklyn not really able to defend that well. They try to defend their best by slowing down pace, but Golden State's not going to allow them to make this a crawl game for 48 minutes. Brooklyn's so small. It matches up real well with Steve Kerr's gone back to what they used to refer to as the death lineup, where he starts Draymond at center and they run. I think they get up and over this total pretty easy. So give me Golden State team total over 119.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. You think of Draymond as a defender, but quite honestly, they are a much better offensive team with him in the lineup, as crazy as that may sound. And no Wiggins tonight, but Kuminga is every bit as good. So, yep, thinking some points are coming. And again, that one flipped. I saw Brooklyn as much as the 2-point favorite this morning. No more. Why? Because Ben Simmons ain't in the lineup. Who the hell even knew he was still in the league? You got to be kidding me here. All right, there you go, guys. One more time. Let's check it out. We've got the Warriors team total over 119.5. Expect some points here tonight, while LeBron James is on Andy's mind, over 1.5 3-pointers made. He might very well have that by the break against this G League Charlotte team. So, all right, guys, now you know what to do. Just got to hit that thumbs up here. If you're hanging with us live on the show here today, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. More importantly, don't forget to visit Rob and Andy over at their pages at WagerTalk.com. Partner up with them now the entire month of February, $9 a day, all access, all plays, all sports. It's a great opportunity, guys, to kick it off right, because before we know it, pitchers and catchers will be here. March Madness will be here. The fun is just beginning here at Wager Talk TV. On behalf of Andy and Rob, we appreciate it, guys. Best of luck with your plays tonight. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. So good luck. Cash those tickets.